It's time for Criminal Law 101.
With criminal defense attorney Ken Eulo from the law firm of Smith Eulo.
On 101.1 WJRR.
Ken, what's going on, man?
Good morning, guys. How we doing today?
Ready to do it to it? You have a good weekend?
Had a great weekend. Did a little Halloween Horror Nights this weekend, courtesy of 101.
Oh, okay.
Him and his boy went out there.
Good deal. Had a good time then.
It was awesome. Yeah, me and my fiance and my son, we went out there, got on a couple of haunted houses. It was awesome.
Good deal. What's so funny is his kid, and I've heard of other people like this. His kid, when it comes to roller coasters, right?
Yeah, it's weird. He's terrified of going on even the smallest, simplest little roller coaster. But if it's a haunted house, he loves it.
No problem.
I mean, he'll go in the scariest haunted house, no issues.
How old?
9.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, are you a roller coaster guy?
Doesn't bother me, but I get a little bit of motion sickness.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So, Taka, do we have some listener questions that have come in for Ken of the criminal law nature?
Of course we do.
Why don't we run through a couple of those? And then we had a few things that have been in the news as of late, including an item we had last week. They were like, we need to ask Ken about that one.
And remember, you can always email him directly with your questions. It's ken@smithandeulo.com. That's Smith, ANDEULO.com. All right. Here's one. Told my baby mama to kill herself in a text message. Will this hurt my 50-50 child custody case? I mean, it seems like it's a joke, but it's not.
I mean, so again, that's family law, right? And we do criminal defense. But again, I don't mind kind of jumping in on these questions. Obviously anything that shows that you're not co-parenting, that shows that you're not trying to act in the betterment of the child can definitely affect the way a court's going to look at you, right? I mean, if you're out there, telling, the mother of your child to kill herself, it's not a good look, and courts are not going to look at that favorably. Again, is it a joke? Is it, isolated incident? I mean, there's a lot of factors that go into it, but I mean, obviously you want to keep it as decent and cordial and on the up and up as possible. I always say when people are going through stuff like that, do not engage them in any capacity, emotionally, physically, any capacity.
As difficult as that may be at times.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to be a decent person.
Yeah.
I know it's tough, and I know that sometimes they can act awful, but I would say just try to be as decent of a person as you can.
Be civil. Simple enough. This one's a little long, but I'll try to trim it down. 52-year-old man back in the 90s, I got into trouble selling an eighth of weed. And years before that, as a 19-year-old, got caught in a residential burglary. Not what it seemed, but anyway, what are the chances of getting my record expunged or whatever?
Every week they want to know about this. It's the same response though, right? I mean,
This person's been a well-behaved and model citizen for decades now.
Sure. So the question leaves out some key information, right? So what happened with the burglary charge, right? Was he convicted on the burglary case? Was it dropped down to something less? Maybe he pled it out to a grand theft, withhold, court costs. So is there a conviction somewhere on his record? It didn't mention that. So that's going to be, just because you get arrested for something doesn't mean that you can't get it sealed or expunged off of your record. The courts are going to look at whether or not there was an actual conviction on your record for those offenses. So it's possible that people, I've seen people get murder charges, case dismissed, expunged off your record, right?
Right.
So it's not necessarily the charge itself, it's whether or not there's a conviction attached to that charge.
Okay.
And as we mentioned, or as you mentioned last week, if you're going to try to go down this road, don't go down it by yourself.
Yeah, I definitely think the court filings and things like that are a bit much. You're going to have to coordinate with different judicial assistants and the state's, assistant and get hearing times and things like that at some point. So that's usually where people kind of get lost in the process, in my opinion.
One more will slide in, Pat, because I know you have a couple things. If you have a warrant and it has errors like your eye color and date of birth, and anytime you've been pulled over, they detain you, but then release you, is there grounds to have it dismissed?
So, I mean,
I guess they have the wrong info on this warrant for this person.
yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit hazy on what exactly. I mean, they keep releasing him, but he keeps getting. So it seems like maybe there's something that we're missing here. Maybe like the date of birth isn't matching up, or it seems like maybe that's the case. Because I mean, they're not releasing him just because the eye color's off, right? Like
it's the date of birth too.
There's probably a date of birth issue. There's probably it's just a different person, right? Like
when you're on the end, if you're the police officer and if you're pulled over and you run the information and you go, I think we got a warrant on this guy, and it doesn't match like that, is the cop at that point? They're just going to say you go, right? Is that
if it's clear, right? Like if they think they got the right person, they're going to take the person in. But if they think, hey, it's clear, it's a totally different person. Maybe this one person has a J in their name. Person's date of birth is 60. This person's date of birth is like 90.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, they're going to look at all of those kind of factors. I mean, a lot of times they have in their David system pictures and things like that too. So I mean, let's assume you look at one picture and you got like a 70-year-old African American, and then one picture you got like a 30-year-old white guy.
Right.
I mean, obviously, they're going to look at that and go, "We got the wrong guy." So, I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. Pictures with the David system, date of birth. Now, in terms of getting the warrant quashed, it doesn't sound like it's him. So, the reality is you can't get a warrant quashed for somebody else that's not you. If that's the question, that's the question, right? So it puts him in a tough spot because he keeps getting misidentified as this individual. I mean, it seems like a really frustrating situation.
Think of time-wise. if you're on your way to work and you get pulled over, and then all of a sudden they hold you because of their warrant, now you're late for work.
Yeah,
Is there a resource the public has to know if you have a warrant out for you or not?
Yeah, there's a couple resources. If you know the county, and it depends on whether it's go down the rabbit hole here. So they have something called VineLink. It was kind of developed for victims and things like that, and you can look up pretty exclusively where people are, if they've been released from jail, things like that. FDLE is another great place to search. If you go on FDLE, you can do a warrant check. Another resource is if you go on the clerk website. So let's assume you think you might have a warrant out of Orange County for like a violation or something like that. Orange County Clerk of Courts, whenever a violation of probation goes out,
posted there.
You'll see the case open. You'll see the capias go out. So the clerk's office itself will show that. If you miss a court date and a warrant goes out, you'll see that as well. So if you check those three resources, now the one area that you're not always going to see is if you have a new case. Let's assume a domestic violence situation happens. They go and they talk to the woman, and she's like, this guy beat me, and the guy had disappeared. He took off. He fled from the scene, and they issue a warrant. That's like a new law arrest. And a lot of times what we'll do in those cases is you call our office, and we have, we'll reach out to law enforcement, we'll reach out to bond agents, things like that.
Gotcha.
And we can do a deeper dive. Those are tougher to spot than the ones that I talked to you about previously.
Okay. Criminal defense attorney Ken Eulo from Smith Eulo, our guest is always on Mondays. By the way, you guys do everything from criminal traffic violations all the way to murder cases. And on the criminal traffic violation fix my ticket deal, you can always get in the running to have them assist you with a snafu you might find yourself in at our website, Taco.
Yeah, WJRR.com/contest. There's a contest going on where they pick a winner every Friday to get you out of your ticket. So submit your story and tell them why you should win.
As a criminal defense attorney, what did you think about the defense of this Canadian couple that moved to Scotland? He was, I think, 41. She was 25. They're in a hot tub in Scotland at
his mom's house.
Her mother's house. She ends up dead, stabbed to death, 25 stab wounds. He was in court the other week, jury trial, and the defense claimed she did it herself. She stabbed herself to death 25 times with a knife.
I hate to laugh, right? But it's the idea of the defense, is somewhat amusing, right? The idea that you're going to claim that this woman just self-inflicted all of these.
If this guy's your client and he tells you that, what are you doing?
Yeah, like you have this guy walk into your office. What do you do?
I swear to God, Ken, she stabbed herself 25 times in the neck and back.
I mean, I would say this: if somebody came in, my first reaction would probably be, listen, this is totally confidential, right? This is a totally confidential call, talk. You got to be honest with me because the story is just not believable,
right?
And if the person persisted, this actually happened, like she actually stabbed herself 25 times, then I would say, listen, we got to pony up some money and get an absolute world-class,
expert
witness that so pony it up. Let's put out, $10K for this expert and let's go after it. And you have to get some serious experts in the field that support this guy.
Wow.
Now, good chance the expert's going to come back and say,
there's no way,
right? But I mean, I think you got to. I mean, if you're going to go with a defense like that, you're going to have to really bring it. I mean, you're going to have to have some incredible witnesses, expert witnesses that are going to back that up because no person's going to believe that.
No,
right?
You're a better man than me. That dude walks into my office and I'm going like this. Get the hell out of here.
Well, I mean, that's my just so you know, my first reaction is to tell the client, listen, this isn't believable, right? That's my first reaction because that's not believable. But I think that if a person persists and insists, then you got to go and say, maybe there's some crazy, insane scenario where an expert's going to say, yeah, this could happen, right? So you got to give it a shot.
One other quick thing I want to ask you about here, because this happened in Maine. I'm sorry. Is there any such thing as finders keepers in a legal sense? Guy sells a vehicle, okay, for cash. Leaves the money that he was paid cash for this vehicle that he sold to this person, set it on the roof of the other car that he was driving, took off. Cash falls all over the street. Another guy comes by, sees all this cash, scoops it all up. It was captured on somebody's dash cam video, and he flees. And now the police are seeking the guy who picked up this more than $7,000, saying, you can't do that.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's a crime, right? So,
okay, what is the crime there?
So, grand theft,
okay.
You're in possession of somebody's property that you saw fall off of a roof.
No, they didn't see. They just came across.
They just came across
the cash is in the road.
So that's a little bit different, right? But the idea is that, technically by the letter of the law, if you're in possession of somebody else's property that is somebody else's property, and you continue to hold on to it and keep it as if it's your own,
right?
You're almost converting that asset into your asset. By the letter of the law, that is a theft. That is a grand theft, right? Or a petty theft. I don't know how much money was taken.
Damn.
But it's one of those things.
Damn.
but it's one of those things where it's like, there is a certain sense of, how do you know if this is somebody's property? Now, when you're talking about that kind of money, that kind of thing, I think there is a certain,
expectation that it just didn't float down from heaven.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So, I mean, I think that, in that situation, if they could prove that it fell off his car, a guy runs up and scoops it up, and they have the guy that scooped it all up, I mean, they should be able to get that money back.
All right. Ken Eulo from Smith Eulo, Criminal Law 101. We do it up every Monday. If you got questions you want to send over, we'll put them in front of them next Monday. We appreciate your time each week.
It's awesome to see you guys as usual.
Again, if you want to get in on that contest, WJR.com/contest. If you got a criminal traffic violation that you need some help with, maybe they can get you out of it.
Love it.
All right. We'll see you next Monday, Ken. Thank you.
All right, guys.